Beloved chosen ones, have you ever sensed that a part of your destiny, a sacred inheritance, was meant for you, but kept just out of reach? What if today, the veil of secrecy begins to lift, revealing the truth you've been waiting for? A whistleblower has stepped forward, shedding light on the schemes and shadows that have hidden your rightful blessings for far too long. This is more than a revelation. It's a divine awakening, a call to reclaim what has always been yours by God's design. Before we delve deeper into this extraordinary unfolding, I want to pause and extend my deepest gratitude to everyone who has supported this channel through Super Thanks. Your generosity makes it possible to share these powerful messages of truth, justice, and restoration with God's chosen ones worldwide. Whether through your contributions or your heartfelt engagement, your presence here is a blessing beyond measure. Thank you for standing with us on this sacred journey. And now, I encourage you to take part in this moment of divine alignment. If you feel the stirrings of purpose within you, drop the number 999 in the comments. This number, rich in spiritual meaning, signifies completion, divine purpose, and the birth of new beginnings. Your engagement strengthens our collective faith as we stand together, watching God's justice unfold in remarkable ways. The time has come, the lies are falling, the truth is rising, and your inheritance is being revealed. Stay with me as we uncover the details of this divine plan. Together, we will shine light on what was hidden, claim the blessings that are rightfully yours, and walk boldly into the destiny that God has prepared for you. God's chosen ones, a whistleblower is exposing your stolen inheritance. Chosen one, hear the truth that has long been hidden from you. What was destined to be yours, the blessings, the inheritance written into the fabric of your existence, was stolen by hands unworthy to touch what was sacred. They forged signatures, fabricated lies, and boldly claimed what they thought no one could contest. Yet their confidence was misplaced. Now the whistle has been blown, their schemes exposed, and their time is running out. Justice is not coming. It has already begun to unfold. Can you feel it stirring? The weight of their deceit collapsing under the unbearable pressure of truth. They believed they could operate unnoticed, weaving their web of lies in the shadows of arrogance. They convinced themselves that no one would see, no one would know. But how could they escape the gaze of the one who sees all? The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good. Proverbs 15:3. Every secret they whispered, every fraudulent act they committed, was recorded by forces far beyond their comprehension. They underestimated the power of divine justice, the inevitable reckoning that follows those who defy what is rightfully ordained. The universe does not remain silent in the face of injustice. It is not a passive observer watching without care. It moves with intention, calculating every event with precision. What they viewed as randomness was, in truth, the alignment of something greater. Do you recall the story of Joseph? Betrayed, cast aside, and thought to be forgotten, yet every trial he endured was part of a divine plan to elevate him to a position of power. Genesis 45:7-8. Your path mirrors his. The delays, the disappointments, and the pain you faced were not for nothing. They were the mechanisms of preparation. What seemed like loss was a strategy for restoration. Their schemes, buried beneath layers of deceit, began to fester, shifting the very balance they sought to manipulate. In their arrogance, they built walls to conceal their crimes, but these walls are not impenetrable. They amplify the truth, echoing louder with each passing moment. There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. Matthew 10:26. The structures they trusted to shield them have become their undoing, crumbling under the weight of their dishonesty. The truth they feared is now undeniable, bursting forth like light breaking through the darkest night. Have you noticed the patterns, the whispers of truth emerging from the most unexpected places? The voices once silenced by fear now speak boldly, refusing to back down. Coincidences that seem too precise to ignore. These are not mere chance. They are the fingerprints of the divine, a reminder that nothing escapes the plan of the Almighty. Even as they plotted, the unseen moved. ensuring that their actions would lead to their exposure. Chosen one, this is not just a reckoning for them, it is a reclamation for you. What was stolen is being returned. The inheritance that bears your name cannot be erased or altered by their deceit. The timing is not random, it is perfect. As their lies unravel, the truth about your identity, your purpose, and your destiny is being revealed. The question is not whether the truth will come to light. It already has. The question is whether you will rise to claim what is yours. This is your moment, the culmination of years of silent preparation. The forces of the universe, guided by divine will, have aligned for you. The weight of their arrogance and greed has become the instrument of their fall, and the whistleblower has merely been the catalyst. This is no coincidence. It is destiny. You were never forgotten, never overlooked. The unseen forces have been working tirelessly on your behalf, waiting for the exact moment to strike. And now, that moment is here. The story is not just theirs, it is yours. As they face the consequences of their actions, you are stepping into the fullness of what was meant for you. The truth has been revealed, and the balance is being restored. Step forward, not with doubt, but with the confidence of one who knows that what was promised will never fail. Chosen. 1. You are never alone in your struggles. Though it may feel as if your grievances echo into an empty void, they do not vanish unnoticed. There is always a force, unseen yet undeniable, that listens to every cry, observes every wrong, and moves with precision against those who consider themselves untouchable. You are part of a greater story, one where every thread of injustice is being drawn tighter, inch by inch, around those who believe their power could shield them forever. But have you ever wondered why the truth always seems to emerge at the perfect time? Why the lies, no matter how deeply buried, eventually come to light? This is no accident. Whistleblowers do not appear by coincidence. They are not born from chance. They are instruments of divine justice, called forth at the precise moment when truth must shatter the barriers of deceit. Just as Esther was raised up for such a time as this, to save her people, Esther 4:14. So too does each whistleblower arise as an answer to the corruption they were destined to expose. Their courage is not random, it is a calculated response to the imbalance of power. Consider the story of the Pharisees, who plotted in secret against Christ, believing their schemes were invisible. Yet their every thought, their every action was known and brought into the light when the time came. For nothing is hidden that will not be revealed, and nothing concealed that will not be known and brought to light. Luke 8:17. Could it be that the same principle is at work now, exposing those who sought to undermine your purpose? Are you beginning to see how divine forces align to ensure that justice is served? When corruption festers, it creates its own undoing. Whistleblowers are not accidents, they are inevitabilities. Their emergence is the natural response of a universe designed to favor justice. What once seemed protected by layers of secrecy is not merely exposed, it is thrust into the harsh light of truth with relentless precision. But how often do we stop to recognize the meticulous nature of this process? Evidence finds its way into the right hands. Words emerge at the exact moment they are needed, and the house of lies begins to collapse under its own weight. This is not luck. This is the meticulous work of a higher power. Just as David, armed only with a sling and a stone, brought down Goliath, 1 Samuel 17:45-50, so too does the whistleblower emerge as an unexpected champion, equipped with the tools necessary to confront the giants of corruption. Does it not make you wonder how every element falls into place so seamlessly, as though guided by an invisible hand? The forces that orchestrate these events leave no room for error. What was hidden in darkness is always brought into the light, and the power of deceit cannot withstand the weight of divine truth. Chosen. 1. You are not standing against this tide alone. Every act of injustice against you, every stolen moment or opportunity has been recorded. Do you believe that these injustices will go unanswered? The forces working on your behalf are not idle. They are active, moving with precision to ensure that those who have wronged you will face the consequences of their actions. As the threads of their lies tighten, remember that the truth cannot be silenced. It may take time, but it will always find a way to emerge, stronger and more undeniable than ever. When the time comes, the unraveling of falsehoods is swift and decisive. It is not by accident that whistleblowers hold the evidence that dismantles corruption, or that their words strike at the very heart of deceit. It is by design. And that design, chosen one, is working in your favor. Will you have the strength to stand firm when the truth emerges, reclaiming what was always meant to be yours? You do not walk this path alone. Unseen forces guide and protect you, ensuring that truth and justice will always prevail. Chosen one, hear this truth. What is yours by divine decree cannot be truly taken from you. When unworthy hands dare to seize what is encoded into your very lineage, they do not inherit your power. They inherit the consequences of their actions. Have you ever observed how those who grasp at stolen blessings find themselves burdened, unable to carry the weight of what was never meant for them? Energy that does not align with its bearer does not elevate. It corrodes. It becomes stagnant, heavy, and ultimately it drags them into ruin. What is truly yours cannot be stolen. It may be delayed, diverted, or obscured by the illusions of others, but it is never lost. Do you recognize the strength in this truth? When they take what is not theirs, they may revel in their perceived victory, but their celebration is short-lived. Inheritance, true inheritance, is not found in paper contracts or signatures forged in darkness. It is far more profound. It is a code embedded deep within the soul, woven into your being long before you drew your first breath. Think of Esau and Jacob, whose story in Genesis 25 reveals the consequences of deception. Esau sold his birthright for a momentary satisfaction, yet even in his loss, the lineage of blessing continued to move according to divine will. What does this tell us? That even when human hands attempt to manipulate the outcome, the true alignment of inheritance cannot be undone. Could it be that the same principle applies to you? That no matter what others have tried to take, the divine plan for your life remains intact? Wealth stolen does not remain wealth. It becomes a shadow of its former self, unable to sustain or grow. Power taken by deception does not function as true power. It fractures, collapses under the weight of dishonesty. The hands that steal inherit not blessings but burdens. Have you ever noticed how those who manipulate and deceive live in constant unrest, consumed by the very lies they created? They may attempt to wear your crown, but it doesn't fit them. It was never forged for their head. The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. Psalm 37:23-24. The rightful holder is always called back into alignment. What was written for you cannot be rewritten by human hands. This is the power of divine justice. It does not forget, nor does it falter. The inheritance encoded in your soul will resonate with you, and only you, drawing you back to what is rightfully yours. Those who sought to claim your legacy will find themselves carrying a weight they cannot bear. Have you wondered why their actions often lead to their own downfall? It is because they attempted to take something that was never aligned with their purpose. They are left carrying a burden that grows heavier with time, pulling them further into despair. Inheritance is not simply about possessions or wealth. It is about alignment with the divine purpose encoded within you. The energy signature of your inheritance is unique, and it will always guide you back to what is meant for you. For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. Romans 11:29. This is your assurance that no force, no scheme, no deceit can permanently separate you from your destiny. Chosen. 1. Understand this. Those who try to take your inheritance will come to realize that they have claimed nothing but their own undoing. Their efforts to manipulate, to deceive, to rewrite what was written will crumble, because they cannot carry what was designed for you. Meanwhile, the divine forces working in your favor are calling you back into alignment with your rightful place. This is not just a promise, it is a certainty. The burden of what they stole will become too great for them to bear, and you will rise to reclaim what was always yours. Chosen one, Remember this: energy seeks its origin. The unseen forces that govern truth and justice do not err, nor do they overlook even the smallest detail. No deception is flawless. Every forgery, no matter how meticulously crafted, carries the imprint of its creator, a signature of imperfection that is woven into the very fabric of its falsehood. Have you ever wondered how something as seemingly insignificant as a misplaced number or an inconsistent stroke of ink can unravel an entire illusion? That is the power of truth pressing through the cracks. Those who conspire against you believe that ink and signatures can rewrite reality, that documents stamped with lies will shield them from consequence. But paper is not neutral. It is not silent. It absorbs the frequency of the intent behind it, holding the weight of the deception it carries. And when the appointed time arrives, it betrays them. The numbers refuse to align. The signatures falter under scrutiny. The story they stitch together unravels at the seams. Do you feel the magnitude of this? The very records they forge to conceal their actions become the instruments of their exposure. What is hidden cannot remain hidden forever. Truth is relentless. It presses itself through the cracks, demands to be seen, and ensures that it reaches the right eyes at the right moment. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known. Luke 12:2. This is the law of the divine, unchanging and unyielding. Have you considered how this applies to your own journey? That hesitation you felt, the unease as you examined their so-called evidence, was no accident. It was the whisper of something greater, the unseen hand guiding you toward what needed to be revealed. You were not drawn to the anomaly by chance. That moment when doubt stirred in your mind, when you paused to look closer, that was no ordinary hesitation. It was a signal, a calling, urging you to uncover the truth hidden beneath layers of deceit. The weight of falsehood cannot endure in the presence of those who are attuned to the energy of truth. Have you ever wondered why lies crumble so quickly in the hands of those who see clearly? A forgery expert does not merely detect flaws. They translate the language of deception. They expose the story that lies beneath the ink, the tale of intent and arrogance etched into every stroke. They believed their arrogance would protect them. They forged documents with the confidence that no one would question their lies. They underestimated the forces working through you. The documents they created were not neutral objects. They were extensions of their own intent, bound to the consequences of their actions. Can you see how this truth is reflected in their downfall? What is falsely signed cannot go unchallenged. Every lie they crafted, every forgery they signed, was a step toward their own undoing. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy. Proverbs 12:22. They thought they were writing their own victories, but they were in fact documenting their defeats. The ink they trusted to shield them became the very evidence that betrays them. A document is not just a document. It is a testament to the character and intent of its creator. Those who manufacture lies into legalities are scripting their own collapse, one signature at a time. The evidence will not remain buried. When truth is set in motion, it cannot be stopped. It seeks out those who have the strength to bring it to light. You are one of those people. When you hold the proof in your hands, you're not merely carrying evidence, you're carrying the weight of justice. And when that moment arrives, the balance shifts. The scales tip with undeniable, irreversible force. Justice is no longer a possibility. It is absolute. Chosen one, do you feel the power in this revelation? It is not just about exposing their lies. It is about reclaiming what was always yours. The forces guiding you are ensuring that the truth reaches you, empowering you to stand firm and see justice served. The path is not always easy, but it is certain. Truth is relentless, and it will not stop until it fulfills its purpose. Chosen one, doubt was their first prison. It wrapped around them like invisible bars, forged by the weight of what they knew but did not yet act upon. The truth pressed relentlessly against the walls of their conscience, demanding one of two paths: to be silenced or to be set free. At first, they told themselves it wasn't their concern. How often have you witnessed this hesitation in others, or perhaps even felt it within yourself? They rationalized that the numbers were just numbers, that discrepancies were mere clerical errors, insignificant in the grander scheme. But deep down, they knew better. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin. James 4:17. Truth is relentless. It does not bend to fear, nor does it shrink to fit the confines of denial. It gnaws at the edges of comfort and complacency, demanding acknowledgement and ultimately action. Have you ever felt that pull, the quiet yet insistent voice within that refuses to be ignored? For this whistleblower, what began as the routine duty of an accountant became something far greater. Their role shifted, their purpose magnified. What once seemed like a mundane job transformed into a confrontation with corruption, a reckoning they could no longer avoid. When they walked into that office, they were just an employee. But when they left, they carried the weight of divine justice. Think about that transformation, how ordinary circumstances can place extraordinary burdens on those chosen to act. How often does the world mistake these moments as accidents when they are in fact divine appointments? The Lord works out everything to its proper end, even the wicked for a day of disaster. Proverbs 16:4. This moment was not random. It was an alignment of forces calling this individual to step into their role as a vessel for truth. Every whistleblower reaches a critical moment, a moment when silence is no longer an option. The realization is not gentle. It does not arrive as a quiet nudge. It breaks through like a fracture in reality, sharp and irreversible. Imagine standing at the threshold of such a moment, watching the ordinary world collapse beneath the weight of undeniable evidence. How would you respond? In that instant, neutrality ceases to exist. There is no middle ground. Whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters. Matthew 12:30. To witness wrongdoing and remain passive is to stand complicit in the deception. The forces of the unseen demand alignment with truth. This is not merely about legality or ethics. It is about resonance with a higher order that does not tolerate deceit. The whistleblower's realization was this: knowledge is never placed into unworthy hands. They did not stumble upon this evidence by chance. They saw it because they were meant to act. Have you considered how often the right eyes land on the right evidence at the exact moment it is needed? This is no accident. It is the hand of something far greater at work. For we cannot do anything against the truth, but only for the truth. 2 Corinthians 13:8. The burden of truth transforms. The person who initially hesitates, questioning whether they should act, becomes the very instrument of revelation. At first, the questions torment them. Why me? Why should I take on this fight? But eventually, they realize the answer lies in the nature of the truth itself. It does not allow those who see it to remain passive. They were chosen to act because they were capable of carrying the weight of this knowledge. The evidence was not merely placed in their hands, it was entrusted to them. And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. There is no comfort in neutrality. To choose inaction in the face of clear wrongdoing is to align oneself with the deceivers. Have you ever felt that tension, the pull between doing what is easy and doing what is right? The whistleblower faced this choice and understood the cost of remaining silent. They realized that stepping forward was not just an act of courage, it was an act of alignment with forces that demand truth and reject falsehood. Chosen one, the unseen, does not make mistakes. If the truth has been placed in your hands, it is because you are meant to act. Think about the gravity of this. The forces guiding your journey see something within you that others may not. They trust you to bring light into darkness, to stand firm when others falter. This is not just about exposing lies or ensuring accountability. It is about fulfilling a role far greater than the immediate moment. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. When the whistleblower stepped into the light of their calling, they carried the weight of more than evidence. They carried the weight of justice itself, a force that is both irreversible and undeniable. And in that moment the balance shifted, not by chance but by design. Can you see the echoes of this truth in your own journey? That what has been revealed to you is not a burden, but a calling. Chosen one, to speak is to risk, but silence is the greater burden. To expose deception, to stand for truth, is to place oneself in the crosshairs of those who thrive on lies. Yet, to remain silent is to carry a weight that erodes the soul, a burden far heavier than the cost of action. Those who step forward into the light of truth rarely choose this path. It chooses them. Have you ever wondered why some are called to act when others turn away? It is because they possess a strength others lack, a courage that cannot be extinguished. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion. Proverbs 28:1. In that moment of decision, they are transformed. They are no longer just an accountant, an employee, or a bystander. They become an instrument of something far greater than themselves. Truth, when it demands a voice, finds those who cannot look away. It chooses those who feel its pull so profoundly that hesitation is no longer an option. Have you felt that certainty, the moment when the cost of inaction becomes unbearable? When the time comes, there's no room for doubt, only the unshakable knowledge that justice is worth whatever price must be paid. You were never waiting for coincidence. You were waiting for the weight of their choices to collapse upon them. Divine justice does not rush. It moves with precision. It does not waste its strike, but waits until the pressure is absolute, until the truth has built enough momentum to unravel the entire structure of deceit. For the vision is yet for the appointed time. It hastens toward the goal, and it will not fail. Though it tarries, wait for it, for it will certainly come, it will not delay. Habakkuk 2:3. When the first truth surfaces, it is never isolated. Like a single crack in a dam, it spreads, pulling every hidden deception into the light. Have you noticed how one revelation often triggers a chain reaction, unraveling lies that once seemed untouchable? This is not coincidence. It is the design of divine justice at work. The weight of secrecy becomes unbearable, forcing confessions from those who once swore loyalty to silence. Alliances forged in dishonesty begin to crumble, not because of moral awakening, but because self-preservation takes over. Watch closely, chosen one, as the house of cards collapses. The ones who profited from secrecy will scramble, turning on one another in their desperation to survive. They once stood together, bound by greed and deception, but their unity was always fragile. When the light of truth shines on them, their alliances dissolve, leaving them isolated and exposed. For their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood. In vain is a net spread in the sight of any bird. But these men lie in wait for their own blood. They set an ambush for their own lives. Proverbs 1:16-18. They are caught in the very trap they set for others. Do you see how divine timing operates? Justice does not act prematurely. It waits for the moment when exposure will have the greatest impact, when the chain reaction of revelations becomes unstoppable. Every lie, every betrayal, every fraudulent action is brought into the light, and those who thought they could control the narrative are left scrambling. What was once hidden behind closed doors is now displayed for all to see. For nothing is hidden that will not be revealed, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light. Luke 8:17. Chosen one, this is the power of truth. It not only reveals what has been concealed, but it dismantles the systems that supported the deception. Those who thrived on lies now face the weight of their own actions, turning on each other in their desperation to escape judgment. The alliances they trusted to protect them become their undoing. And as their world collapses, you stand as a witness, chosen to see the fulfillment of justice in its fullness. Do you feel the gravity of this moment? It was never about coincidence, the timing, the revelations, the unraveling. It is all part of a divine plan that does not fail. As the pressure builds and the truth spreads, those who acted in deceit face the inevitable consequences of their actions. And you, chosen one, are here not by chance but by purpose to see justice unfold in its absolute, undeniable form. Chosen one, nothing truly disappears. They may burn records, erase files, shred contracts, and even attempt to rewrite history itself, but truth is not bound by their destruction. It endures, embedding itself in places they would never think to look, carried forward by forces they cannot hope to control. Have you ever wondered how the smallest fragment of truth, seemingly insignificant, always finds a way to resurface? What is meant to be seen will be seen. A misplaced copy, a forgotten ledger, an untouched backup drive, these are not coincidences. They are evidence of divine precision. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. Ecclesiastes 12:14. The unseen does not allow critical evidence to vanish. Every attempt to conceal only strengthens the inevitability of exposure. Their efforts to hide what cannot be hidden become the very stage for truth's undeniable return. It emerges more damning, more unrelenting than before. Do you see how the act of hiding sets the wheels of justice into motion? Like seeds scattered in the wind, the pieces of their deception take root in unexpected places, waiting to be uncovered at the perfect moment. You were never meant to search in vain. If the truth has been entrusted to you, it will find its way to your hands. Do you feel the weight of this responsibility? Documents resurface not by chance, but by design. Their returns orchestrated by a force greater than secrecy. Those who believe they have erased their trail fail to understand a simple and unyielding reality. Energy leaves imprints, conversations leave echoes, transactions leave fingerprints. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good. Proverbs 15:3. What was once buried re-emerges, guided by the right hands, at the right time, in the right place. The very evidence they sought to destroy becomes their undoing. Have you ever noticed how their arrogance blinds them to this inevitability? Those who forged, falsified, and manipulated the record will watch helplessly as the proof they thought was gone returns to haunt them. It is a haunting not of the supernatural, but of their own making, a reckoning they cannot escape. The weight of deception is not easily carried. They may have acted with confidence, convincing themselves that their lies would remain hidden beneath layers of silence and complicity. But deception is not a stable foundation. Truth, relentless in its nature, carves through the mind like a rushing current, eroding the very walls built to contain it. There is no peace, says the Lord, for the wicked. Isaiah 48:22. The guilty need no external punishment. Their own conscience becomes their executioner. Think of this. How often do those who betray and deceive wake to the crushing weight of their own hands? The memory of every lie spoken, every betrayal signed into existence, lingers in their minds like an unrelenting echo. They may have convinced themselves of their justifications, but the mind rebels against what it cannot justify. The cracks begin from within, and the foundation of falsehood starts to collapse. Truth is not passive. It is alive, active, and unyielding. It gnaws at the edges of denial, carving through layers of rationalization, until nothing remains but the bare reality of what has been done. For those who chose deceit, their own minds turn against them, becoming the battlefield where guilt wages war against justification. But if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. 1 Timothy 5:8. They betrayed not only others, but the very principles they claim to uphold, and this betrayal leaves an indelible mark on their soul. Chosen one, this is why you were called. The truth that others sought to destroy was not lost. It was preserved for the moment you were meant to hold it. The cracks in their facade, the weight of their guilt, the inevitability of exposure, all of it aligns with the forces working to reveal what they sought to hide. You are not searching blindly. The evidence will find its way to you because it was always meant to. Let their guilt serve as a reminder of the power of truth. Let their unraveling be a testament to the futility of deception. And let this moment remind you that you were chosen to carry not just the evidence, but the weight of justice itself. For the Lord loves justice. He will not forsake his saints. They are preserved forever. But the children of the wicked shall be cut off. Psalm 37:28. Chosen one, what once seemed like control begins to feel like a noose. Every decision they made, every scheme they executed to conspire against you, now tightens around them with each passing moment. Have you ever noticed how those who rely on deception often become prisoners of their own lies? You will not need to chase them, for their downfall is not external. It begins within. Those who plotted against you will dismantle themselves, undone by the very fabric of their deceit. Their malice may be concealed by deception, but their wickedness will be exposed in the assembly. Proverbs 26:26. No wealth, influence, or distraction can silence the whispers that come in the stillness of night. Guilt is not merely an emotion. It is a force, a vibration that disrupts the soul's equilibrium. It takes what should feel secure and turns it into a foreign, hostile space. Their victories turn to ashes in their mouths. The indulgences they sought as comfort become bitter reminders of their guilt. Can you imagine how their own minds betray them, turning every moment of silence into a courtroom? There is no peace, says my God, for the wicked. Isaiah 57:21. Paranoia creeps in, not because they are being watched, but because they know they deserve to be. They see judgment in every gaze, betrayal in every shadow. This is not a punishment inflicted from the outside. It is a correction born of divine justice. Have you considered how justice operates not just in the visible world, but also within the unseen depths of the soul? Their spirit rejects the weight of what they have stolen, the lies they have told, the harm they have caused. Their very body rebels, manifesting the unease they cannot escape. This is the nature of guilt. It grows, it suffocates, it demands resolution. They may try to silence it with distractions, drown it in indulgence, or rewrite the past to justify their actions. But the subconscious does not negotiate with lies. The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? Jeremiah 17:9. What they have done plays back in endless loops, growing louder and more unbearable. It is a force they cannot suppress, a reckoning they cannot delay. Their victories were never meant to last. The indulgences they sought to celebrate their perceived control now taste of bitterness, leaving them empty. The paranoia that eats away at their confidence is not without cause. Their own actions have set this course into motion, and now they stand on the edge of collapse. Do you see how their arrogance blinds them, even as the walls of their schemes begin to crack? What they face is not arbitrary punishment, it is correction. The divine justice that governs all things demands alignment. The weight of stolen things cannot be borne forever. The lies they told and the trust they betrayed weigh on them like chains, dragging them deeper into despair. Woe to him who builds his house by unjust gain, setting his nest on high to escape the clutches of ruin. Habakkuk 2:9. Every attempt to silence the truth only amplifies its voice. Every effort to drown out the whispers of guilt only makes them louder. And so they come to a crossroads, confession or collapse. These are the only two paths left. The truth will not wait forever. It presses on their minds, their spirits, their very bodies, demanding acknowledgement. Can you imagine the weight of carrying such a burden, knowing that the only relief lies in surrendering to the truth? The choice is theirs, but the outcome is inevitable. The truth will always surface, whether they release it willingly or it breaks them apart. Chosen one, do you see how divine justice moves? It does not act with haste, nor does it strike without cause. It is precise, ensuring that those who conspired against you are confronted not just by external evidence, but by the undeniable truth within their own souls. This is why you need not pursue them. They are already ensnared by the weight of their own deeds. Let their downfall remind you of the power of truth. It does not negotiate, does not waver, and cannot be suppressed. It moves with certainty, dismantling falsehoods and restoring balance. And you, chosen one, stand as a witness to this unfolding justice, a reminder that what is stolen cannot truly be kept, and what is hidden will always be revealed. The Lord works righteousness and justice for all who are oppressed. Psalm 103:6. Chosen one, you were never their downfall. They always were their own. The seeds of their collapse were sown in their own arrogance and deceit. Nothing in this process is random. Every misplaced file, every conversation overheard, every seemingly minor coincidence is part of a greater orchestration. Have you noticed how corruption thrives on isolation, on the belief that lies can remain contained within carefully crafted walls? But those walls are never impenetrable. For whatever is hidden is meant to be disclosed, and whatever is concealed is meant to be brought out into the open. Mark 4:22. Justice operates through an intelligence far beyond human calculation. One person notices a seemingly insignificant detail. Another questions an inconsistency. A third holds a document they do not yet realize is a key. Each person acts independently, unaware of their role in something much larger, until the pieces snap into place with undeniable force. Do you see how divine precision moves, aligning people and events in ways no human mind could orchestrate? The convergence is not chaos, it is precision. Chosen. 1. You do not need to force the exposure. Truth has its own gravitational pull, drawing the right eyes to the right evidence and compelling the right voices to speak at exactly the right moment. The lot is cast into the lap, but its every decision is from the Lord. Proverbs 16:33. This is how divine justice works, not through haste or disorder, but through timing so perfect that it cannot be denied. When the time comes, those who conspired will find their own actions turning against them. They will make mistakes, contradict themselves, and place their trust in the wrong people. Have you ever observed how their arrogance blinds them to the traps they set for themselves? What they believed was securely hidden will reappear in whispers, be forwarded in emails, or left in open folders, waiting to be uncovered. This is not coincidence. It is justice moving with purpose. Justice is not an event. It is a sequence. The unseen does not strike prematurely. It aligns, layers, and fortifies the truth until denial becomes impossible. Each revelation builds on the last, creating a chain of events so precise that it shatters any illusion of control. The Lord is known by his acts of justice. The wicked are ensnared by the work of their hands. Psalm 9:16. They will believe their downfall was accidental, that the wrong people just happened to connect the right dots. But you, chosen one, know better. Timing is not chance. It is a weapon. The exposure of their corruption is not sudden. It is the culmination of forces set in motion long before they realized their reckoning had begun. Do you feel the weight of this truth? Every delay, every hidden piece of evidence, every seemingly random connection was part of a larger design, working in perfect harmony to ensure that the full weight of justice would be undeniable. You were called to witness this convergence. Your role is not to force the process, but to remain steadfast as it unfolds. The evidence, the witnesses, the timing, all of it aligns according to a plan far greater than human understanding. What was hidden is now being revealed, not by chance, but by divine intention. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Chosen one, this is the power of divine justice. It does not act in haste, nor does it falter. It builds layer upon layer until the truth is fortified and undeniable. Let their mistakes, their contradictions, and their paranoia remind you of the inevitability of exposure. What they sought to conceal will rise to the surface, not as an isolated event, but as a sequence so precise that it reveals the hand of the unseen at work. This is not coincidence, it is destiny. Justice moves with purpose, ensuring that every lie, every betrayal, every falsehood is dismantled. And you, chosen one, stand as a witness to its unfolding. You are here not by accident, but by design, to see the reckoning that was always meant to come. Trust in the timing, for it is a weapon wielded by forces far greater than any human plan. Chosen one, the system was never built to favor truth. It was designed to exhaust, intimidate, and silence those who seek justice, burying them under mountains of paperwork, technicalities, and endless loopholes. Corruption does not flaunt itself in open defiance. It hides in the labyrinth of bureaucracy, using procedure as both shield and weapon. But even the most intricate system is not immune to exposure. Have you ever wondered how the very tools meant to obstruct justice often become the mechanisms of its revelation? The same walls they built to block the light will close in on them. Their foot shall slide in due time. Deuteronomy 32:35. When truth moves, it does not ask permission. It carves a path through the most tangled webs, finding the right statutes, the right hands, and the perfect moment to strike where they least expect. Have you felt the precision of this guidance? The sense that you are not wandering aimlessly, but being led? What they counted on to protect them, the legal complexities, the obscure clauses, the convoluted processes, becomes their undoing. The right precedent emerges. The forgotten detail in a contract transforms into a weapon. Their own documents, signatures, and words become the instruments of their downfall. This is not coincidence. It is divine strategy. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1-5. Lawyers once loyal to deception begin to falter, their confidence eroded by the weight of undeniable evidence. Judges who once appeared indifferent begin to see the truth clearly. What was once stagnant and slow accelerates with unexpected speed. Have you noticed how justice, though delayed, arrives with a force that can't be ignored? This is divine recalibration, the alignment of truth within the very structures meant to obscure it. There is no fortress that deception can build, that justice cannot dismantle. Every legal maneuver they once used to obstruct becomes a snare around their feet, for the wicked are ensnared by the work of their hands. Psalm 92, Maitum. Sakutiti Asartistin. The loopholes they exploited turn against them, sharpening into tools of their own undoing. What they manipulated to evade consequences folds under the weight of evidence that no argument can deny. They will call it misfortune, a string of bad luck, but you will know it for what it is. Divine strategy, perfectly timed, impossible to escape. What is stolen is never truly taken. It is held temporarily, misused, passed through unworthy hands, but it does not belong to them. Wealth tied to deception carries a cost, an unseen weight that corrodes those who attempt to possess what is not theirs. They may forge signatures, rewrite legalities, and claim ownership, but the energy of stolen things is restless. It does not settle, it does not nourish, and it does not yield the power they expected. The wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. Proverbs 13:22. The unseen marks what is stolen for return, recalibrating the scales with precision. When the moment is right, what was taken is torn from their grasp. Sometimes this happens suddenly, in a swift and undeniable moment of collapse. Other times it unravels slowly, piece by piece, until nothing remains. Have you noticed how their false security begins to dissolve, as if the very things they sought to protect slip through their fingers? You were never truly robbed. You were repositioned. Loss is not the end, but a disruption, a shifting of elements before realignment. The unseen does not simply restore in fractions, it returns in fullness, with increase and correction. I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. Joel 2:25. What was diverted finds its way back to you, carried through unexpected channels, legal victories, discoveries long hidden, or opportunities disguised as chance. Those who schemed and hoarded watch as their fortunes collapse, their assets drain, and their false security dissolves. What they believed they could keep rejects them, slipping through legal cracks, seized by forces they cannot stop. Their wealth becomes a weight they can no longer bear, for it was never meant for them. And as the scales recalibrate, the truth demands repayment. Restoration does not ask, it claims. It is not a negotiation, it is a certainty. What was stolen from you will return, not in the same measure, but multiplied, reshaped, and aligned with the divine plan. The unraveling of their schemes is not merely justice, it is proof of the power that guides you. Do you feel the magnitude of this moment? It was never about what was taken. It was always about preparing you for what was to come, for the restoration that exceeds anything you lost. Chosen one, let this remind you, justice is inevitable and restoration is assured. What was meant for you will find its way back, stronger, clearer, and more undeniable than before. Trust in the timing, for it is perfect, and know that the scales are being recalibrated in your favor. Chosen one, when the time comes, doors long shut will open without resistance. What was lost will be retrieved, and what was stolen will be restored. Records resurface, forgotten inheritances are reclaimed, and wealth shifts from failing hands into rightful possession. Have you ever wondered how something long buried can suddenly emerge, perfectly timed, as if it had been waiting for the exact moment to be found? This is not wishful thinking. This is the divine mechanism of balance, a force older than human laws, stronger than deception, and unshakable in its purpose. The unseen does not forget. What carries your signature, whether material or spiritual, will find its way back to you. The Lord your God is a God of justice. Blessed are all who wait for him. Isaiah 30:18. This is the certainty of divine justice, whether through revelation, legal correction, or the collapse of those who thought they could keep what was never theirs. What is yours will return. Every act of theft leaves a trace. They believe fraud is a game of numbers, that wealth can be buried under false names, hidden in offshore accounts, or obscured by forged signatures. But wealth is not merely currency, it is energy. It carries intention, and it holds a signature that cannot be erased. Have you considered how the energy of stolen things works against those who hoard them? Money taken through deception does not flow. It stagnates. It does not sustain. It fractures. It carries a weight that misaligns and turns against those who attempt to claim it. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Galatians 6:7. Transactions thought forgotten resurface. The illusion of secrecy crumbles under the weight of divine timing. Audits once dismissed are reopened. Records believed to be destroyed reappear in the most unexpected places. Have you noticed how these moments seem almost orchestrated, as if guided by a hand unseen? This is the power of truth breaking through barriers, ensuring that nothing remains hidden forever. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. Ecclesiastes 12:14. Wealth tied to deception is restless. It carries an unseen cost, a burden that corrodes those who attempt to possess it. They may have forged signatures, falsified documents, and hidden behind false names, but they cannot outrun the natural law that governs energy and justice. What they believed would bring them power turns against them, fracturing their security and dismantling their schemes. Chosen one, this is not coincidence. It is divine recalibration. What belongs to you will not be lost. The unseen does not allow rightful ownership to be erased. The collapse of their schemes is not just justice, it is restoration. When wealth is misused, it destabilizes, seeking to return to its rightful place. Do you see how the very systems they use to manipulate the truth are now exposing their deception? This is not luck. This is precision. The energy of restoration moves with intention. What was stolen from you is marked for return, not only as it was, but multiplied. I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten. Joel 2:25. The records that resurface, the wealth that shifts, the doors that open, these are signs of alignment, evidence that the forces guiding you are at work. Let their losses serve as a reminder of the power of divine justice. Let the resurfacing of hidden records and the unraveling of their schemes be a testament to the inevitability of truth. What they hoarded begins to slip through their fingers, and what was once stolen returns with increase. Can you feel the certainty of this moment? It was never a question of if, but when. Chosen one, trust that what carries your signature will find its way back to you. Restoration is not a possibility, it is a promise. The energy of what was meant for you remains connected to you, waiting for the moment of realignment. And when that moment comes, it will arrive not just as justice, but as abundance, overflowing and undeniable. Chosen one, divine justice does not rely on human memory. It is far greater, imprinted into the very fabric of reality, waiting for the perfect moment to come into view. You do not need to chase what was taken. Have you noticed how corruption carries within it the seeds of its own undoing? Those who built their security on fraudulent wealth will see it crumble, slipping through cracks they never anticipated. Though they plot evil against you and devise wicked schemes, they cannot succeed. Psalm 21:11. Corruption is its own downfall. An investigation sparked by an unrelated case, a forgotten document flagged at the last moment, a whistleblower compelled by forces they cannot explain. These are not coincidences. These are the workings of the unseen, aligning every detail for the reckoning that must come. Have you observed how deception often unravels at the exact moment when its perpetrators believe they are most secure? The unseen does not allow theft to settle. Every dollar, every stolen asset, every unjust gain is marked for exposure, bearing the weight of its own inevitable return. The financial structures they trusted will betray them. The very systems they relied on will turn against them, their paper trails becoming weapons of justice. Transactions they believed to be buried will resurface, leading to their downfall. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. Matthew 6:19. They thought they could escape the consequences, but the divine audit trail is meticulous, precise, and absolute. Nothing stolen remains hidden. What was done in the darkness will be brought to the light. Have you ever wondered how even the smallest miscalculation or anomaly can unravel an entire web of deceit? A system glitch, an overlooked number, a careless word spoken at the wrong moment. These are the tools of exposure. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known. Luke 8:17. The truth is relentless, and it will press forward until every falsehood is laid bare. The unraveling will be undeniable, inescapable, and irreversible. Those who schemed will watch helplessly as their carefully constructed illusions collapse around them. What they believed was secure will slip away, piece by piece, until nothing remains. This is not mere punishment. It is the fulfillment of a universal law. What is stolen must always be returned. Do you feel the certainty of this principle? It is not subject to chance. It is unbreakable, governing all things with divine precision. What was taken is already on its way back to you. This is not luck, nor is it coincidence. It is the fulfillment of a greater design, a force that ensures balance and justice in all things. The Lord works righteousness and justice for all the oppressed. Psalm 103:6. What they thought they had claimed forever was never truly theirs. The energy of stolen things is restless, unable to settle, and it will always find its way back to its rightful place. Chosen one, trust in the divine process. The timing is not random, it is exact. The forces working on your behalf are recalibrating what was misaligned, ensuring that restoration comes not only fully but with increase. Let their unraveling remind you of the power of truth and the inevitability of justice. What was stolen does not remain hidden, nor does it diminish. Instead, it gathers momentum, waiting for the moment when its return is undeniable. This is the unbreakable law of justice, a principle as old as creation itself. What is stolen must always return to its rightful owner. The process may be slow or sudden, but it is certain. The unraveling has already begun, and the evidence is already making its way to the light. Let this truth guide you as you wait, not passively, but with the quiet confidence that justice is inevitable, and what was meant for you will always find its way back. Beloved chosen. 1. What was taken from you was never truly lost. It was held in trust, waiting for the moment when you would have the strength, wisdom, and clarity to reclaim it fully. Every betrayal, every delay, every attempt to sever you from your inheritance only ensured that when it returned, it would be undeniable. The forces that conspired against you are already fracturing under the weight of their own deception. What they thought they could keep was never theirs to hold. And now the balance shifts. What once seemed unreachable is already moving toward you, drawn by the unstoppable force of divine alignment. You were never left empty-handed. Even in the moments of loss, you gained something far greater. knowledge, resilience, and the vision to see beyond illusion. Do you feel the strength you've cultivated through these trials? You are not simply returning to where you were, you are stepping into something far greater, something that was prepared for you long before any opposition existed. The struggles you endured were never a sign of defeat. They were the preparation for a destiny so profound that no force could keep it from you. And after you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace, who has called you to his eternal glory, will himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. 1 Peter 5:10. Now the truth cannot be ignored. Those who sought to rewrite your destiny will be forced to witness the undeniable reality. Nothing stolen remains in stolen hands. The unseen has recalibrated the scales, and justice is unfolding before your eyes. This is not just a recovery, this is your ascension, the moment when you take back what was always encoded into your being, a power and purpose that cannot be challenged. This is your moment. Speak your truth, share your testimony. Let your story become the evidence of what cannot be stopped, the return of what was always meant to be yours. Do you feel the weight of this calling? It is not just for you, but for all who are watching, for all who need to see that divine justice is real and undeniable. As you move forward, I invite you to support this work by donating through Super Thanks. Your contribution, no matter how small, helps keep this space alive, allowing these messages of truth, hope, and justice to reach more of the chosen ones across the world. If donating isn't an option for you, know that your presence, your engagement, and your support in spirit mean just as much. I am deeply grateful for each of you, whether you choose to give or simply listen. May blessings overflow in your life, beloved chosen one. May the restoration you are stepping into be more abundant than you can imagine. May your strength inspire others, and may your story shine as a testament to the unstoppable force of divine justice. The unseen has already spoken. Now it is your time to rise. Thank you for being here, for believing, and for standing firm in your truth. May the path ahead be illuminated with clarity, abundance, and unwavering faith. You are loved. You are seen. You are chosen.